Hello folks, I'm William. You may also know me as Egg. I am an active community member in the News Research Discord, here to show a very complete and exclusive project built exclusively, yet again, with the Hermes and the News Portal. News Portal is a provider for AI, specifically the cutting edge LLM models. Hermes is a agent harness, is a tool to essentially to be used the AI models to create different types of products. Could be software, could be chatting, could be scheduling, could be a whole bunch of things. And you can connect with them with Telegram, Discord, Slack to be able to interact with your agent, some may say employees. So what is JoySword? JoySword was a project that was abandoned. It was an MMORPG. The ancestral origin of JoySword is called L-Sword. L-Sword is a Korean MMO created by Nexon as the publisher and KOG Games as the producer. So, to be able to try and break down as a very, very complete version, what we were trying to do was stress test one Hermes into the news portal for throughput and essentially large scale legacy undocumented environments. Why specifically an MMORPG? MMORPGs have a lot of hidden holes. We're using this specifically as a benchmark for code execution, governance, and completion. So let's get on to it. To our next slide. What Hermes did. Hermes orchestrated these various different harnesses and these various different agents. Hermes act as the main executor and orchestrator. I will demonstrate the current tools that I used when I was using Hermes. This is the Hermes agent. To be able to access the Hermes agent, open up and install Hermes, then type in Hermes to trigger the agent. After that, the tool that I used was, you can do slash, you can also do go. The thing that I use to orchestrate my agents, my separate harnesses, use a feature called Kanban. Kanban is a tool that allows for collaborative, multitask, and long-lived projects. Kanban takes the orchestrator, which is Hermes, and delegates the tasks and overviews to see if the tasks are done, one card at a time. Populates and gets those done. Afterwards, what was super interesting about this? Go to our next slide. That when you're dealing with over 50 million lines of code, what happens? It's even a miraculous miracle that the project was only $600 to $700. With a project this scale and this large, typically this could run up to thousands and thousands of dollars, maybe sometimes never ever compile. So, what the things that Hermes attempted to do first? I first said, Hermes, tell Lumi to migrate the L-Sword server and client files completely from scratch. I had this assumption when I first learned about this repo when I saw a class called item.lua. It had 3 million lines of code in that class. And I said to myself, with my previous experience with agentic systems, the context window is only sometimes 256, and at the highest so far is 1 million. These context windows, think of it as the memory and the ability to be able to execute a task in the given window of knowledge. To be able to orchestrate and fit a task within such a short window, considering we have 50 million lines, and that context window would fill up incredibly fast. There's no possible way for an agent to be able to read a 3 million line class. What they deliberated on for about 1 week, on and off execution, sometimes the task would run all the way up to 10 hours in one single run without crashing, without anything, just having my laptop open. Is that one, they gave me the continuity in the framework, in the shape of this MMO. The problem here is that it never actually migrated from a greenfield project into an actual established playing game. What did I find? Okay, what did I find? That the human layer acts as the continuity system. What that means is it was up to the human to determine what to actually reconnect. Because as it stands, that game was dead. What I found in terms of, if you break this down into like surgery and type of human anatomy type styles, is that the game wasn't actually dead. The body, like the skeleton, was just disconnected from the actual tissues and muscle, meaning the muscle and the skeleton system were completely intact and functional, but they had no clue and they had no idea that they were even there at all. So, what does this mean? For an agent system to be able to actually understand and decipher under what is in the 50 million lines of code, Hermes, Lumi, and the rest of the agents, what they did is astounding. I found out that they can create different types of parsers, dictionaries, and be able to parse comments that are in other languages, Korean, English, a whole bunch of different types of other languages, because this is a global system and live, long-lived system. They were able to not ingest information, not like an engineer, not like a human, and not even pattern match based off of what is actually in the system. Keep in mind, they did attempt to search for these things online. And of course, they found nothing. This is a completely undocumented, frozen item lost to software. What is so remarkable is, even though the context windows were frozen, even though they only had a short period of time and it reset every single session, Lumi and the governance system and its ability to create the memory and of the system, the long-lived system, worked, which was essentially the key to be able to get this to work. But even with all these different types of tooling, different types of functionalities, plugins, all these different types of skills, audit trails, receipts, every single possible action for long-lived system. It was up to the human. It was up to my own personal intuition to be able to solve and understand that this was not an MMORPG. This was a fragment of the internet before modern times. It mirrored telecom enterprise patterns. It mirrored pre-Stripe behavior. It mirrored even the identity of game IP, kind of like a security with the anti-cheat. It mirrored even cloud era long-lived systems. This can only live on a physical, real, bare metal device. Okay, so let's go and get the game started. This is JoySword. This is a launcher that Hermes created. Codex created that image. And let's get the game started. Again, this is JoySword. The fragment is from 2014. This is a frozen fragment. Okay. Try that again. Maybe it's okay, let's open this. We'll try from the bat file instead. Sometimes it has kind of a you know, kind of goofy time sometimes. Okay, try that again. Again, a login server works. Doesn't work. We will go and debug. There we go. See, it's just a problem with the launcher. I need to go and fix that bit. The launcher by itself is kind of goofy. It takes a minute for the server to verify and log in. This is one of the things that I need to kind of work on, the latency and the issue with the server. But transferring from different types of fields, this is difficult. Getting the monsters to spawn, that was also difficult. Here, I'll show you just a quick demo of the skill. Got the money and the currency summoning. I have a pet there. Okay, so let me show you the cash shop system working in functionality. All right, let's just buy whatever. Just any of these packages. And I'll show you what this looks like. Also, this is something that wasn't even remotely in the server at all. They didn't have any cash shop items. They had nothing. And most of the cash shop items were corrupted. I had to somehow magically, instinctively figure out how to get those to go. I restored over 20,000 items that were lost to the sands of time. There's even some items that were never released at all to the public. Well, I think they were, but they were just kind of like lost as like beta items or something. Because there's some items, there's like some tester cash shop items from like 2007 or 2009, I think, which is kind of is pretty crazy because I don't remember them being that many characters, costumes, like at all. Like it's pretty crazy. As you can see here, yeah, there's 10 pages here. This character is called Chung. There's 40 pages. Yeah, and like you can see some of the rare items. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, here, like this right here. You got the Salvatore Shade. I think it was a very pricey item back in the day. There's some Chongwing. You see all that? Typically, these items were a gacha. I restored them as in the cash shop to be able to give players a complete and full and free experience to just recapture the magic of 2014 JoySword in its entirety without having to, you know, worry about this. You know, it's like opening up a gacha item and then you're getting a chance, but you're gonna have these hyper rare premium items that back in the day, you know, would cost thousands of dollars. I definitely know that bit because that was something I loved doing, but you can see now it's a fully restored piece of gaming history with 20,000 different costumes, customizable, and unlimited options for your self-expression through the character. What's so fun about JoySword is its replayability and PvP style smash 'em up. And I hope to see you in the game. Again, this is Egg from the Noose Research and Hermes community. Thank you.